Thank you, and wanted to thank Kvinfo for having me here. This is a program that I have lived with for the last 5 years, and it's something that I'm passionate about. But first of all, just a little bit about Mainstream. We are a private charitable foundation based in Toronto, so most of our work is Canadian. And as a foundation, we were being established for about 25 years and have a real interest in the prosperity of Canadian cities. Where does immigration come in this is, immigration to Canada is primarily an urban phenomenon, especially in the 20th and as we move into the 21st century. Most immigrants that come to Canada come to the cities in Canada. And those three bars that you see are really the MTV of Canada: Montreal, Toronto, and Vancouver. So you see these big pockets of immigration that have significantly changed the demographic profile of the cities, especially these three cities. But increasingly, the other cities are recognizing that they need to be attracting and retaining immigrants as well. So you see Edmonton, Calgary, Winnipeg starting to build up their immigrant profile as well. What was interesting was, and this has been known, I would say, since probably the 70s, is that immigrants that are coming into Canada come through a system of where they get points. They get points for their education and experience. So it's the skilled immigrants. Most people have at least post-secondary education. They are professionals. They are seen as people that Canada's labour market needs in order to continue to succeed. However, once they reach Canada, the same education and experience gets discounted and they don't get jobs. What are the issues that immigrants face in terms of finding employment? Very well known, well documented for over 25 years in Canada. The first one was most employers are very reluctant to hire someone who doesn't have Canadian work experience. So if you're not born in Canada and you're not educated in Canada, you don't have Canadian work experience, you're seen as high risk. Employers will not hire you. The second is almost every job finding club an immigrant will go to will tell them that 80% of jobs are filled through networks. And yet, as an immigrant, you have no access to these networks, or very limited access to these networks. And the third is what I said earlier, which is you get points for your credentials when you're immigrating. The moment you land, those credentials are meaningless. They're not worth the paper that they're written on, both from the licensing bodies and from the employers. These were well-documented facts. So as TRIAC, we said we will do two things. One, we will never do more research on barriers. We felt that the barriers had been researched endlessly from all points of view. Second, we said we would be action-oriented and we would look for practical solutions that were scalable. So we were not really trying to be innovative. We were actually trying to find the good ideas and be good copyists, being good with duplication of good ideas. One of the good ideas was the mentoring idea. Mentoring had been around in Toronto, especially successfully for over 11 years prior to the launch of the mentoring program that we did. Good success. The challenge had been that they tended to be very small programs run in local community agencies, did not attract the kind of media or corporate attention that we felt that mentoring should be getting. Didn't have a significant impact. So within TRIAC, we've set up a mentoring working group that looked at how do we scale up the mentoring idea? How do we make this an idea that becomes universal across the Toronto region? And this was our idea. We said we would make a program that is delivered across 8 different community agencies who would be our partners in different parts of the city. All of them would deliver exactly the same program. So mentors and mentees would go through the same processes, regardless of which agency they went to. And we would be looking at occupation-based matching. So the focus for our mentoring program is really singularly labor market attachment. We don't count success necessarily just in terms of employment outcomes, but more in terms of mentees have been better prepared for their job search, than they were prior to the mentoring program. Mentors commit to giving 24 hours over a 4-month period. So it's a very short, unlike the Kvinfo program, which is much more extensive relationship. This is a very short, structured business relationship, so to speak. It is profession to profession, so we are trying to match engineer to engineer, doctor to doctor, nurse to nurse, lawyer to lawyer, IT professional to IT professional. We are not taking into account gender and ethnicity. I'm not going to go into some stories now. Maybe I'll get an opportunity to do that in the Q&A. Who are the mentees? These are people that have been accepted to Canada as permanent residents, which means they're there, they have the right legally to work in Canada. They have to have functionality in English. And that's a number one. For such a short mentoring relationship to work and work quickly, language fluency is important. And we had some struggles with this initially, negotiating this with our community partners, but they get it. The third is it's someone who has to be motivated and driven. So again, you're looking at mentees that are pretty focused in terms of getting employment and pretty clear in terms of what their goals are as being the ideal mentees for this program. The mentors are all professionals. Most important is mentors are people that by and large are volunteering their time. Some mentors do get recognition from their employer for this work, but by and large they're volunteering their time, they're willing to share their knowledge. So these are people that come in knowing that the mentee is also a professional, will treat them with respect, but also know that there's this unwritten kind of knowledge and experience that comes from having worked in Canada that they're willing to share. And they realize that their big role, and this has come through in every survey we've done, is about building the confidence of the mentees. Anyway, what was really important about this model was, for the first time, we brought in corporate Canada, so employers, businesses, as equal partners in the program, because they were going to be our primary source for mentors. Unlike Kvinfo, which started off with a really strong network of members who they could tap into to become mentors, we did not have that. What we had was a really strong pool of mentees, because we had all these community agencies that were screening mentees and had other employment programs through which mentees could come into the mentoring program. What we did not have access to was high quality mentors, especially senior mentors, well established in Canada, the kind that Kvinfo has. Since 2004, we've done over 4,500 matches, more than 50 corporate partners. These are employers that have signed up and commit to bringing at least 10 plus mentors into the program. As I said, there are some that bring over 100 easily every single year, no problem. 12 agencies, and there are challenges to coordinating the different community agencies, because each of them has their own philosophy and value and identity in terms of how they want to deliver the program. In 2008, we had a consultant come in and do an independent evaluation of the program, and here's what they said to us in terms of the outcomes. One was, so what they did was they surveyed mentors and mentees that had been to the program in 2007 and 2008 and asked them a very specific question around, what changed because of mentoring. What difference did mentoring make in your employment, in your job search? So 3 main areas. One was the mentees said that they were much better equipped for their job search post-mentoring. What do we mean by that? They went from using strategies like applying to job postings online or on job boards, which are really the least effective job search strategies within a Canadian context, to more effective strategies of networking, setting up information interviews, going to meetings of professional associations in their profession to meet other professionals, going and connecting with other individuals that are in the same profession to see where job shadowing opportunities, looking for job shadowing and volunteering opportunities, those kinds of things. So real change between what they were doing prior to mentoring and what they did post-mentoring. And a lot of this is because of the advice that they got from the mentors. 80% of the mentees that complete the mentoring program find employment within 6 months of completing the mentoring program. 85% of them are in jobs that are related or closely related to the profession that's their ultimate goal. That is my presentation. This presentation will be on the website, so my contact information is there as well. Thank you very much.